back in World War II, the anti-Nazi forces got together and looking at their airplanes, be like, okay, let's beef up our armor. And so they had all these planes come back with all these bullet holes in them, and they asked, well, where should we put the bullet holes or the additional armor? And at first, if you ask yourself that question, what do you think? You probably say, okay, well, where's the most bullet holes? Counterintuitive, though, that's what happens when you get a bunch of the best scientists and statisticians around. They're like, well, that's actually the wrong question, because if a plane came back, that means it survived. Well, and that means it survived and came back despite being shot in the wings, etc. What we really need to look at is, where are the planes, or where are the bullet holes on the planes that didn't make it back? And you can also reasonably infer that if you look at across all the planes that come back and there's areas where there aren't bullet holes, those are the areas that when they got hit, for the other planes, they didn't make it back, because every other area got hit with bullet holes, and you can see that, and they still made it back. Now, very counterintuitive, but then once you think about it, it makes logical sense, right? You don't actually get to hear about all the people who didn't make it. You just see the people who made it, right? Survivorship bias, that's what that's called. Now, what does this have to do with you losing weight and fucking feeling amazing? A lot, okay? What you'll see, like, people do different methods and strategies, etc., and you will only hear from the people that it worked well from. So when it comes to this rah, like, yo, you gotta hustle and grind and sacrifice and put on all this, like, hard work, blah blah blah, yeah, maybe you see the loudest voices, right? That's how it is. That's how it works. You'll see The Rock posting to fucking millions of people. You'll see him waking up at 4 a.m. and working out and, like, all this kind of stuff. And, you got to do brutal workouts and tough workouts, and that's what people believe. But what they don't, and they see the results, and they're like, okay, well, that's what it must be. But those are the survivors. What you don't see is the millions upon millions of people who tried that or couldn't even get themselves to try it and failed. You got to go back and look at that information, right? So when I'm out here, like, I'm not trying to change the world. I'm trying to help one person in front of me. I'm trying to help myself and the one person in front of me. I don't have some grand aspiration of having 1 million followers. Like, if that happens, that's dope. But, I'm not interested in trying to convince people that they don't need to struggle or sacrifice. You're not going to listen to me. You're probably not going to be listening to any of my podcasts or watching any of my stuff if you weren't interested in finding the most efficient path forward, the easiest way to get the most results. And that's, well, kind of the people that I work with. Like, they're interested in, because you're not going to see me, like, you're not going to hear from all the people who did, chicken and broccoli and tried to run 5 miles a day and it didn't work for them because it didn't last. The only voices left are the ones that, oh, this is how I do it. You got to grind, you got to hustle. Cool. But maybe you don't. If you have an understanding of physics and chemistry, you'll realize that, and this is why every single week I'll get messages from clients and people on Instagram who are like, dude, I started walking 10,000 steps and I've like, losing fat and getting leaner has never been this easy. It's insane. And I'm not going to be out there trying to, convince the world. I am just going to do my thing. Oh my, I am just, we have a brief second. I thought we lost this podcast recording. But anyways, I'm just going to do my thing and, look good, feel good. I'm not going to be out there, like, trying to convert people. I'm not interested in converting people. Neither should you be. If your goal is really, like, what is the point? Was the point to, like, preach to the world? No, the point was for you to feel good. And you can feel good without preaching. In fact, it usually feels better. Because you're usually trying to preach to people who don't want to listen. Like, let them do what they need to do. Meanwhile, why don't you just enjoy the fruits of true mastery and understanding? It's all physics. Fat on your body is just atoms. 55 carbon atoms, 106 hydrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms. It leaves your body through respiration, through breathing, in the form of carbon dioxide. 1 carbon and 2 oxygen atoms. It's not rocket science. This is basic chemistry. Anyways, that's my thoughts for today. Survivorship bias.